So there are many lenses to choose from on the market today. These all fit different price ranges, different cameras and needs. So I get it, it can be tricky to actually figure out what to look for or what lens to actually buy. Generally, if you're starting out, there's no need to invest in really expensive lenses. And with entry-level cameras and the specs they have, lenses are probably the best thing to spend your money on. There are several key factors you need to really consider when looking at buying a lens. Is it prime or zoom? The compatibility with your current or future cameras, how fast the lens is or what aperture the lens is it weather sealed, does it have autofocus and image stabilization. So first, prime versus zoom. The term prime basically means that the lens is stuck at a set focal length, for example 50mm, and cannot be zoomed in or out. Zoom lenses are the opposite. They can shoot at various focal lengths. For example, a 24 to 70mm will zoom in 24mm up to 70, or a 70 to 200 will zoom from 70mm to 200mm. Now I tend to use primes a lot of the time as I shoot a lot of music videos and can get into the action, whereas if I was filming a wedding I would use zooms instead, as a bride wouldn't really want a camera in her face during the bridal prep. Generally, primes are a lot lighter than zooms and less bulky, and they can sometimes work out cheaper than actually buying a zoom lens, but it all really depends on what you'll be shooting. Next is compatibility. So I shoot Canon, mainly because of the wide range of lenses that are on the market already, and also I just love Canon's colour science. The skin tones are a lot closer to what you would see in real life, which makes it a lot easier when it comes to colour grading during post-production. With Canon, look out for the lens mounts. So EF lenses are designed for full frame bodies, but they're also compatible with APS-C sensor bodies, whereas EFS lenses are only compatible with APS-C bodies, such as the 250D. So because the 1DX Mark II only has an EF mount, an EFS lens wouldn't fit on it at all. Next is your aperture. So the maximum aperture of the lens determines the extent to which you can increase the size of the opening. Lower or wider apertures, such as f1.8, make video and photo in poor lighting conditions easier, and they may help you isolate a subject from other elements in the screen, creating a great blurry background. But these lenses can be quite expensive. Entry-level lenses are generally f4 to f7, variable, so depending on how much you zoom, the aperture will change. This means the amount of light coming into the camera will increase or decrease with zooming. Maximum aperture is always mentioned within the name of the lens. The way to check for this is to look for the figure after the F or F/ in the name of the lens, or 1: a number. So for example, a 1:1.8 would be a 1.8 max aperture. Most camera kits will come with a kit lens, which for Canon is usually an 18 to 35mm focal length with an f4 to f7 aperture. Next is weather sealing. So if you plan on using your lens in harsher conditions, make sure to check that the lens is weather sealed. This means it's designed with seals so any water or dust cannot get inside. The front element will typically be treated with a coating designed to repel dust, water and dirt. Obviously, make sure your camera is weather sealed as well. Next is, does it have autofocus? So most lenses offer both manual focus and autofocus, but some cheaper ones may only be manual focus. There should be a little switch on the side of the lens that lets you choose between both, so you'll see this as it says AF/MF. Most lenses from major brands, so like Canon and Nikon, but also third-party manufacturers such as Sigma and Tamron, will be capable of autofocus. Particularly cheap and expensive lenses from third-party manufacturers are typically the ones to be more likely to be manual focus only, so make sure to check this if one of these lenses appeals to you. Next is image stabilization. If the camera on which you'll be shooting with does not have image stabilization, you may want to consider this when you're looking at your lenses. Such lenses will typically have a small premium, so they will cost a little bit more, but it's such a valuable tool that it's worth getting if you can. Now, if you're just starting out, I would really highly recommend the Canon 55 to 250mm EFS lens and the nifty 50 Canon 50mm f1.8. Now both of these lenses will fit on a camera that has an APS-C sensor such as the 250D, but they won't fit on the likes of the 1DX, only the nifty 50 will. These are a great starting point to help you get to grips with using lenses and getting to know them. Now personally, I wouldn't recommend spending £1,000 plus on a lens as a beginner unless you have that kind of cash disposable. As you grow as a videographer, your lenses will grow too, so don't jump in right away. Remember, it's better to have cheaper kit and have the skills to make great videos than have expensive kit and have no idea how to shoot or what to shoot. Practice and grow. My first videos, like the ones you can see at the moment, were shot with literally a 50mm and an APS-C camera. Now the 50mm I still use to this day because it's just such a good value for money lens. So to conclude, what should you look out for? Does it zoom or is it fixed? Which of the lenses will fit your new camera when you upgrade? How much light will the lens let in? Will it work in snow, rain or wind? Does it have autofocus or is it manual? And does it have image stabilization? For now, thanks for watching, get out there, start shooting, and I'll see you soon.